So Kotlin, we've talked about, it gives us this flexibility of extending or inheriting from other classes, which is really good because it gives us this flexibility of not repeating code, but also make it so that there is this system, tree system, if you will, that allows us to inherit and get information from a superclass to a child class. So it's a very good paradigm, programming paradigm, as we've seen, and it has a lot of benefits. But there are times that we need something more, and Kotlin gives us a lot. One of the things that it gives us is something called extension functions. So a good example, a simple example would be, imagine that we are trying to append a string after a text like this. So we have hello there, and then we want to create a function that will append a string. So for instance, could say hello there, how are you? Or hello there, sir. Hello there, miss. Hello there, Mrs. and so forth. So string being one of the classes that comes pre-built in Kotlin, we can actually extend that and create a function, what we call the extension function, that will append the text to existing string. Okay, now this is a very simplistic, of course, example, and there are other ways to actually append strings. This is going to give us some sort of a start to understanding extension functions. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look in code and see how that will work. All right, let's go ahead and create an extension function. So what is the syntax? How do we create an extension function? So outside of main here, what I can do, the first thing you need to do, of course, you're going to say fun, because it's going to be a function. And then we start by invoking the class, library class that comes with Kotlin that we want to create extension function from. So in this case, it's going to be string. Okay, and then we say dot. We want to create our own. So we're going to name it something different. I'm going to say this append as such. And then it's going to be a function, so we can pass parameters inside. Here I'm just going to say to append to signify this is going to be a string that we're going to append to the pre-existing string or text. And I want this to actually return a string. Okay, so in this case here, all I'm going to do, I'm going to say return. Now, the idea is that if we come up here and I say, for instance, print ln, message here, if I say hello Jenny, I want to be able to say dot and invoke append. In fact, the moment you do that, you can see it is showing already and we haven't done anything. This append is exactly what we just created here. That is the power of extension functions, because we leveraged what already existed to our advantage. We didn't create the string class. We can't even do much with it, but we can extend. That's why they call extension functions. All right, so there is the append. So the idea is that when we append, it means we're gluing, say, hello, Jenny, and then we're going to append some text here that would say something like friend or whatever. That's what we're doing. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, we need to get this text here, right, which is string. How do we do that? Inside here, there is this implicit this keyword. If I say this, if you have over, this will mean what? It's going to be a string type, which means it's going to be whatever we are passing as a string. So this is actually the string, okay? And then in this case, I'm going to say this, get that string, and I'm going to say dot plus. So I'm just going to add something else and then add the to append string that we're passing there. And so now you can see this is working fine because we do have this append actually returning something. So let's say sir or miss like this. Let's go ahead and run. And voila, you can see it says hello, Jenny, miss. So whatever we pass here, friend, and run, it's going to append that message or this string that we want to append to. Now, this is a very important concept of extension functions, because as you can see, we can customize anything. So think of any class that comes with Kotlin. You can add your own extension functions to do something extra that they may not be able to do out of the box. And since we know how to make our code even more succinct in Kotlin, we know that we can remove this actually because it's just one liner. You can get rid of all of that, get rid of return, such, and just say equals like this. So this is the same thing what we had before. So now it's just in one line. We're saying that we're going to return this that plus append this string that we are adding there. If we run this, we'll see that same thing happens. We are appending friend after the string there. Okay. You can put a comma as well, maybe less space, and run. You can also put a smiley face. Just having some fun here, and there we have it. Also, I may have to correct myself a little bit. I may have called the append being the receiver type. That's not true. That's actually the extension function name, as you see there. But the receiver type is this, right? Which refers to the type being extended. That's something that I wanted to correct myself here. So as you can see, there are a lot of things we can do with extension functions because it allows us to extend beyond what the library gives us, the Kotlin library. So think of other ways in which you can extend the library. In this case, create extension functions. How about creating an extension function that will take a string, such as this, as we have here, and remove the first and the last characters? Okay, just think about it and maybe do some research and figure out a way to do that.